So, since we're playing around with this chart, maybe Bill has, let's say he's born a little bit later, and we've got 14 Virgo rising, and that would put Mercury in the 12th. And so, does he have maybe the rule of the first in the 12th? So he's his own worst enemy, but also Mercury in the 12th, again according to Robson, he says that it would give plotting and scheming. But this I don't think is really true for Bill, because at least it's not true as far as I know. He seems quite upfront about things. He doesn't have secret business meetings, for instance. So it looks like from that point of view, he doesn't have Mercury in the 12th house. So with a natal chart, by all means, take the birth time as given. But at the same time, as you're looking at it, you're sort of checking it back and forth with a planet. A 5 minutes difference in the birth time could move a planet forward or back. And you just sort of see what it would mean if the planet were in a slightly different house. Let's say it's the beginning of the end. What would it mean if it were moved back a house? What would it mean if it were moved forward a house? And it's sort of confirming that the chart you've got is an accurate one. So if you say with this 11 Virgo here, we know this is the Capricorn decanate, right? Because first portion of Virgo is Virgo, second portion Capricorn, third portion is Taurus. So this middle bit, middle decanate, Capricorn ruled by Saturn at 8 degrees of Sagittarius in the 4th. So, Robson tells us with Saturn and Sagittarius, the person is loyal, reserved and trustworthy. And this is all true. Because Bill is loyal to his people. He's loyal to his family and won't really hear anybody say anything bad about the family or about his friends or about his colleagues and the people that he works with and the people who work for him. Because he wants to do and to have the best for them. And so he will set himself up as their representative in order to get the best for these other people. Also, a word that Robson gives for Saturn and Sagittarius is reserved. And I think that's true as well, partly because he's got Virgo rising. Feminine sign rising makes the person reserved. Mercury being in a feminine sign and retrograde, a little bit reticent and holding back as well. And the fact that Saturn and Sagittarius, according to Robson, again, is reserved. And I think this fellow Bill, you know, you meet him and he's friendly enough, but he's really, really hard to know. And this Virgo here, Mercury retrograde and Saturn in Sagittarius, and you can understand that. And the other thing to mention is Saturn rules Capricorn and Aquarius, which happen to be on the 5th and the 6th. The 5th house is his children, and the 6th house is people he works with and people who work for him. And he is intensely loyal to his children, but also, and maybe surprisingly, he cares about other people that he works with, whereas a lot of managers don't. They're more concerned with their own progress and their own promotion. But Bill cares about the people he works with. Why? Saturn ruling the Ascendant by decanate, and in some ways controlling Mercury, because Mercury is in the Capricorn decanate, ruled by Saturn. Saturn here ruling the 5th and the 6th. So, okay. Capricorn decanate here and Saturn in the 4th, and this is one of the parents. And so 11 Virgo and Mercury and Saturn and Gemini here and Sagittarius here. So the 10th and the 4th represent the parents, as we know, and Saturn knows the father. Now, I don't know what you've been taught or what you understand for the 4th and the 10th. And it's one of the questions I asked my teacher, and I never really got a satisfactory answer. But I tend to use the 10th as the mother and the 4th as the father. Although most people use it the other way around. But I find that the 10th will more often describe the father than the mother. And there are reasons for this. However, Saturn in Minoru is the father, and it's in the 4th, which is the house of one of the parents. So I think that he is. I spoke with Bill's wife a short time ago and asked him who he was like, the mother or the father, and she said the father. So the rule of the 1st in the 4th, the father controls. The father, and the role of the father, we could say, controls Bill, controls the self of Bill. So he's more like the father rather than the mother. And the other thing I want to mention is that Bill has a couple of brothers and sisters, actually 2 sisters and a brother. And those 3 left home in their late teens. Bill was still living at home when he was 29. And I think that's interesting. It was the 1st in the 4th. And the fact that it's Saturn and it's in the 4th as well. So that's one way of looking at Bill. And one way of figuring out, is the chart accurate? A second approach, the one I want to look at just now, is to look at the 7th house, which describes the wife. Okay, so this is Bill, this is Mrs. Bill. So if it's 1st decanate, Pisces, then we're looking at Jupiter in Libra in the 2nd house. If it's 2nd decanate, Pisces, it's the Cancer decanate ruled by the moon in Gemini in the 9th. And so either way, Pisces in the cusp ruled by Jupiter. So the ruler of the 7th is in the 2nd. His values, Bill's values, and Bill's income controls the wife. And so when it comes to the crunch, if they're having a debate or a discussion or an argument, in the end, Bill gets his own way, when it comes to his wife anyway. If he decides it's okay, then it happens. If he decides it's not okay, it doesn't happen. And so he married somebody who was going to accede to his demands. So we're saying that the wife is ruled by Jupiter in Libra. So is she Libran? I mean, not is she, does she have the sun in Libra? Does she have the characteristics of Libra? So what do you can come up with your own description for Libra, but generally speaking, is she sociable? Yes. Likes people, likes get-togethers. Is she easygoing? Yes. Is she indecisive? Sometimes she just cannot make up her mind and has to involve other people in her decisions. And so Libra is a social hostess, and she's like that. She likes to have everything in its place, and fancy parties and dinner parties with, and she likes good china, and she likes nice furnishings, and she likes her home to be a showcase. So she is definitely described by Libra, if we consider Libra as a social hostess. Is she also Jupiter? Because it could be Saturn in Libra, but it's Jupiter in Libra. Is she Jupiterian? So again, what do we know about the nature of Jupiter? Is she generous? Yes. Is she obliging? Yes. Is she fond of sports? Yes. Does she travel? Yes. Does she have a degree from university? Yes. So she is in many ways described by Jupiter in Libra. And that's not bad, ruling the 7th house. So if we now look at the 2nd, at Libra, at 11 Pisces rather, being the 2nd decanate, we have to consider the moon in Gemini. So